YouTube is up. Um, yeah, I feel like this is a by my seat of the pants kind of day. All right, and we're up on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm on any day, right? I think I am. All right. Somebody give me a shout if something's weird. And if something's weird, you probably won't be able to give me a shout. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I'm on my right page. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not. I don't know. I'm a little out there this morning. I don't know what's going on. So, happy Saturday. Happy weekend, y'all. Um, so with this coming week being Thanksgiving, uh, hang on, I'll show you something in just a quick second. So if you guys don't know, my husband does a 3D printer. And all of a sudden, these cute little guys just showed up on my little thing over here. So I don't know if you can see them, but they're cute, right? Anyway, distracting. Sorry. So today, with Thanksgiving being this week, I thought we'd kind of use a theme of gratitude, right? And being full up of all of these really wonderful things that are in our lives, right? And there's always crap. Always going to be some crap. It's just the way it is, right? But there's always something good too, right? So even if you're going through some stuff, right, it's typically temporary, right? But there's always something good. So that's what we're going to focus on is the good and here, and we're going to kind of try and radiate that out, right? Because gratitude is wonderful, but it's even better when you share it, right? So you can be thankful for something or someone, especially, right? But if you never tell them, that's only part of the thing, right? So to share it is maybe even more important. I don't know, maybe not more important, but as important, right? So that's going to be kind of the goal. How you express that, of course, this morning is entirely up to you, right? You can go big, you can maybe not go so big, right? Or you can place things in place of, right? So if a certain pose isn't for you, but you know you need something else, that's how you express your gratitude for your body, moving in these places, for your mind, knowing what your body needs. Right? So just kind of keep that in the back of your brain. And again, how it manifests for you is, we're all different. So let's get to it. We're going to start seated on the mat there. So make sure the seat is comfortable. If you need to prop up on a block or a bolster or whatever you need, make sure you're there. Aligning the heels in front of the groin as much as you can. And then, of course, making sure that you're upright on your pelvis. So whatever that entails here. So lift the pelvic floor, pull the lower belly in and up, and then sit tall through your sides. Relaxing through your shoulders, extend out the crown of your head, feel your posture change. So just by kind of lifting your chest a little bit, that already makes you feel better, right? So with the eyes closed, begin to just kind of take your awareness inward and notice how you're feeling physically, emotionally. Notice how you're breathing. And then allow that to expand into a yoga breath. So all through the nose. Gradually draw the breath deeper and exhale a little bit more completely. Until you eventually find a pace and a breath that is right for you, a little deeper than normal. But it's something you can work with. And take a moment to just be thankful for your breath. We don't think about it much, but it's, kind of important. And then keeping everything you have set already here, let's go ahead and extend the arms out to the sides. And with the inhale, we're going to stretch into the ceiling, coming together at the top when your lungs are full. And then exhaling the arms back down, touching the floor when you're empty. Again. One more time like that. Back up to the top as you inhale. And then exhale the right hand back to the mat and give yourself a little tip. So keep the pelvis even on the floor. Keep this left shoulder drawn back. And with the next inhale, make your way back up to the top again. And exhale over to the left. So same idea. Nice open chest, rooted through the pelvis. And then back up to the top, inhaling. One more time over to that right side and see if you can tweak your pose, whether that's a better seat, whether that's a bigger stretch, maybe the shoulders just drawn back a little bit more. Find what's for you. And come on back to the top as you inhale. And then the last time over to the left. Inhaling back to center. And exhale the arms. So let's bring the hands to the knees here. We're going to take an inhale, draw the shoulder blades together on the back, and lift the chest up toward the ceiling. Exhale, round through the spine. Think forehead to belly button. And then again, inhaling as you lift up. Exhaling as you round. Take a couple more flows like that. And then find your center. Bringing the soles of the feet together here. Draw the heels in toward the groin. And pull against your ankles here. Try not to hold on to your feet. Use your ankles. It's a little bit more stable. Right? And as we do, lift the chest. Right? So not a back bend, but certainly perfect posture. Right? Perfect. So elbows to the inner thighs here, not the inner knees. Gentle little press down. And then the more you pull against your ankles, you can sort of draw your belly button towards your heels-ish. Right? But keep the shoulders down and back so the chest stays nice and open. Big full breaths. On an inhale, gently making your way back up to the top here. Let's go ahead and extend the legs. Maybe shake them out a little bit if they got stuck. Feet hip bone distance apart, toes pointing toward the ceiling. You can flex your toes a little bit here if you like. So fingertips pressing, or palms, whatever, pressing down into the floor to help that chest lift. Yeah. Keep them there. Lead with your belly button toward your thighs. So a little bit of a hamstring stretch. The shoulders stay back so the chest is open. Right? And if the belly button to the thighs idea doesn't work for your brain, think chest to toes. Big full breath. One more breath here where we are. And then hinge back up. Let's come around onto all fours. And then instead of being in tabletop, we're going to move into kneeling plank. So hands forward or knees back, however we make that happen here. Belly's in, the shoulders are in that same place where we set them. Nice and even on the four corners of the hands. Let's go ahead and lift the knees away from the floor unless you need to stay with your knees down for a little longer. Press through your heels. Keeping the head in line with the spine, the shoulders in that same place. So the chest is open here. And then let's lift the hips, moving toward down dog. Wiggle and stretch a little bit. Check in that the feet are hip bone distance apart like they're supposed to be. And then allow yourself to settle into it here. So sinking down through the heels, pressing the chest back toward the thighs. Let your head hang between your arms. And just check out where your shoulder blades are on your back. Again, it's not a back bend here, but it's also not a collapsing of the chest and all of that like we typically do. Let's go ahead and shift forward into our plank again and hold. And again, if you need your knees down, you do. If they're not already, go ahead and drop down to your knees. Elbows tight to the sides, and we're going to lower down to the belly. So the hands next to the side ribs more than your shoulders, right? Hugging those elbows in. We're just going to start with a nice little curl of the shoulders. So pull them up by your ears, together on your back, and roll them down toward your hip bones. So this is nothing to do with your arms. It's all your shoulders and upper back. Okay? Little tiny baby back bend. And then release them. So we're going to do that again, that same idea, rolling the shoulders. This time, add the arms. So pull like you're going to pull your belly button to the top of your mat. Feel your triceps start to work. Right? That finds a little bit of space and length. We're breathing. Probably lift up a little higher, right? And then release that. So everything we do from there is an add-on, not an instead of. Right? So the shoulders roll, and it doesn't matter what the arms are doing or not doing, right? So keep that idea. Roll your shoulders. Little lift. Pull with your hands. Little bigger lift. Keep the pull, so those triceps are working like mad. And start to straighten your arms. Press into the hands a little bit. So you're moving up a little higher. The elbows are still bent in the waist. The shoulders are down and back. And then release it. One more add-on. And any of these options work, right? It's all the same. It's just where your body is and what you want to work and what you want to work less, right? So let's do it. Roll through the shoulders. Pull with the hands. Press with the hands as long as the shoulders stay down and back. Can you take them almost straight? So we don't want to lock the joint and just rely on the arm bones. We're using the muscles. Release it. Pressing yourself up and back. Let's sit into a child's pose. Stretching the arms out long again, grounding into the four corners of the hands. Move back to down dog. And in this down dog here, we're going to lift the right leg. Open the hips so the toes are really, really high, bending at the knee. Maybe peek over, see if you can see your foot over there. And then let's take that leg straight, square your hips again, and we're going to bring that right foot forward into a lunge. Dropping the back knee, adjusting where your foot landed. Hopefully it's right up underneath or your ankle is right up underneath your knee. And then let's take the right leg straight-ish. Right? Prop if you got a prop, of course. Keeping the shoulders back here. Bending back into the knee. Sink nice and low into the hips, lifting the chest. And then one more time, take the legs straight. You know, maybe finding a little deeper stretch. And then bend again. Sink the hips nice and low. Keep lifting the chest. Leave your hands on the floor if that's for you, or climb up on the thigh here. The hips stay nice and low, and the chest stays open. How far you take that is up to you. So maybe you use leg to press against to bring it a little deeper. Maybe you take the arms and use the body weight. Remember to keep the chin tucked toward the throat so the head just doesn't flop back. And then we're going to release that side and make our way back to down dog. All right, so moving to the second side here, let's lift the left leg. Open the hip, take the toes high and bend at the knee. Watch that the shoulders stay as level as you can. Keep pressing down through that right heel. And then we're going to take the legs straight, square our hips again, stepping the foot through to the hands, come to lunge. Drop the back knee and adjust these toes. We've got knee ankle alignment here. And then take the left leg straight. Let's bend the knee again. Let the hips descend and keep the chest open. One more time, take a leg straight. See about finding a little deeper stretch if you're ready for that. Remember to keep the shoulders back so we're not rounding over the leg. And then bend. Sink in through the chest, sink in through the hips, lift the chest. Maybe climb up. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Use your arms if you want to use your arms. And then gently release it. Making your way back to down dog. You're going to walk the feet up to the hands and come to standing fold. So instead of having, I'm going to turn so you can see, instead of having your feet hip bone distance apart, let's go ahead and open them a little wider. And for a moment, just let yourself hang. So loose and relaxed. The shoulders are going to flop toward the floor. The head just hangs. You can maybe sway a little bit, grab opposite elbow. Just really kind of let it all go. Keeping that same kind of ragdoll idea, take the hands and walk them to the right. You can lean a little here. And then through the middle and over to the left. Release it back to center. And take the feet a step wider. Toes point forward. And then let's go ahead and firm that up. So no more ragdoll. Pressing down into the floor, staying even on the feet, level through the hips here. The shoulders are back. So maybe you don't touch your toes, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Keeping the lower body centered, take the hands back over to the right. Different sensation, right? Back through the center and over to the left. So just the upper body shifting, the lower body stays really stable and strong. Let's go ahead and come back to the middle. Maybe take the feet a step wider. If not, don't worry about it. Again, finding where you need to be. Don't go crazy. Mhm. Even on the feet, level through the hips. We're going to take those fingers and interlace them behind the lower back. Pull the shoulder blades together. Stretch the knuckles toward the ceiling-ish. So see if you can feel that open chest idea even here. Take one more breath. And then release your arms. Walking the hands back around toward this right foot. We're going to step back to the top of the mat. Plant the feet up underneath the hip bones. You guys probably weren't sideways, were you? That was a bad cue. Sorry. And then from here, bend into the knees. We're going to roll up through the spine. So the opposite of that open chest. Until you get to standing. And we create that nice open posture again. Okay. So from the top of the mat here, we're going to work into our sun salutes. Remember, all of those little tiny shoulder rolls or the bigger arms almost straight idea, whatever works better for this. And remember, we've got a few, so don't work too hard too early, right? So from the top of the mat here, we inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, take yourself over into a fold. Inhaling, come halfway up. Exhale, step yourself back into your plank. Take the knees if you'd like to take the knees and drop to the belly. Hands next to the sides of the ribs. Again, big shoulder roll and whatever else you need. Up and back into down dog. Inhaling the feet forward, fold. Next inhale, halfway up. Fold back over. And then reach for the ceiling. And release it. So another just like that, inhaling, taking it into fold. Halfway up, back to plank, all the way down. Cobra or up dog if that's where you're at. Back to down dog. Inhaling as you step forward. Coming halfway up. Fold over. And then reach for the ceiling. Releasing the arms. So one more just like that, but you are on your own. So if you forget where you are, certainly take a peek up, right? But otherwise, just flow with your breath and do your thing. If you screw something up, who cares? Screw it up. So let's go. Inhale, reach the arms up. And you're on your own. All right. So one more variation we're going to add on or not. Remember, you decide how much you do. With the next inhale here, we're going to sit into a chair. And then exhale into the fold. Halfway up. And back to your plank. all the way down. Cobra. Back to down dog. This inhale, we step the right foot forward for lunge. Work your toes up there. Heel or knee to the mat in the back, and we reach up. Exhale, back down and into down dog. Inhale into plank. And exhale to the belly. Cobra. Back to down dog. And then the left foot steps forward. Heel or knee to the mat and lift. Back down again. Down dog. Forward for plank. And then down to the belly. Into cobra. Back to down dog. And then hold that down dog. If you need to rest, you drop down to child's pose. Big breaths. One more breath where you are. And if you did drop down, lift back to down dog. With an inhale, step the feet forward for fold. Halfway up. Exhale into the fold. And then inhale for chair. Exhale and release. All right, so we're done with that. It's getting a little warmer than I thought. So, we're going to take a balance pose here. So keeping it simple, using tree legs, and then trying to open the chest like we've been talking about. So find where you need to be, maybe off your mat, near a wall, whatever you need. Shifting the weight over to the left, standing nice and tall here and lift this right leg. Open the knee and bring the foot to the inside of the left leg. Anywhere on the knee joint, you can even have your toes on the floor if that's where you need to be. The belly's in, we're standing tall. And if you like traditional tree, you can absolutely just take your arms up toward the ceiling. But maybe here, let's take those fingers and interlace them behind the back. Pull the shoulder blades together on the back. Feel the chest open. Imagine stretching your knuckles toward the floor, lifting your chest toward the ceiling. So yes, tiny little back bend within this balance pose. Take your time. Keep the chin tucked toward the throat. Let's take another nice big breath here. And then gently bring yourself back to neutral, releasing your fingers and your feet. So again, whatever little variations you'd like there, as long as you're on one foot and you've got a nice open chest, all good, right? So all the way to the right, lift the left and open. Finding where that left foot needs to be. Finding that stability. Hugging toward each other so we stand up nice and tall. And then you add what you want to add. So you can interlace your fingers again here. You can just extend the arms traditional. You can extend the arms, pull the shoulder blades together, and lift the chest. And just kind of play with it. Finding stability. And gently with an inhale, make your way back to neutral and release it all. All right, so back to the top of the mat here if you stepped away. Let's take a nice big step back with the left foot. And we're going to work in a triangle here. So the right toe is pointing forward, the left toes are cut in just a little, keeping the body as open to the side as you can. Even on the feet, let's extend the arms. Reach forward over your right toes as far as you can. And then let the right hand fall and the left hand lift. So this is another one of those places. It's not a back bend, but you definitely want to make sure the shoulders pull together on the back and the chest is open toward the side, right? Rather than the floor. It actually comes from the belly, but we're focused on the chest today. Take another nice big breath. And then bend into this right knee and rest your forearm on the thigh. Bring the left arm over the ears, sink into your hips. Keeping the left shoulder back. So the chest is rotated toward the side wall. Maybe even a little bit toward the ceiling. And feel that. Let's release this over into a lunge. And drop the left knee. Take the right foot and walk it forward a little bit. And maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe more. We're let go. So here you can absolutely prop up a little bit to help you. Right? How straight that leg is, do not worry. Open and lift your chest. Let's take another big breath. And then we're going to wiggle the right toes back in. Messing up your mat, probably. Coming off the back knee, let's walk the hands around to the center of a straddle. And then we're going to switch sides here. So turn your right toes in a little bit, turn the left toes toward the back of your mat, lifting your upper body. And then just checking in. That's where we want to be. Open to the side, extend the arms, reach forward, and hinge over. Big full breaths. Bending into the knee. Rest the forearm on the thigh, bring the right arm over the ear. Staying centered on the feet. And then release it over into a lunge. Dropping the knee. And then again here, see about wiggling your left foot forward. See where it'll go over on this side because it might be really different than the other. Wherever your legs go, open your chest. And if you need to take the legs back a smidge to keep the chest open, then take the legs back a smidge. We're going to take another nice big breath. And then wiggle on out of that. Lifting the knee, walk the hands back to the straddle. Toes point forward. And just like we did before, let yourself hang. Feel like this is rest. Seems like a weird place to rest, but that's the idea, right? Walking the hands toward the right foot. And stepping to the top of the mat. Taking a little bend in through the knees. Let's roll on up. And we're going to take one more balance pose here. So near a wall may or may not be helpful to you, but if that's what you need, that's what you need. Okay? And there's always pieces. So remember, the important part, just like when we balanced before, was to have one foot on the floor and a nice open chest, right? Everything else is extra. So let's go ahead and shift the weight over to the right. Bend the left knee, but bring the foot back this time. Taking the left hand, see about finding that ankle. So that can be challenging, right? If you need the wall, you need the wall, yeah? Knees point toward the floor. Kicking the foot into the hand helps keep that left shoulder back, but keep the right shoulder back too. The chest is nice and open. Maybe extend the right arm toward the ceiling. Keep kicking the foot into the hands back there.
Begin to hinge forward, taking the right hand toward the floor and think left knee toward the ceiling. Maybe you can actually touch the floor. Maybe not. You can open the knee toward the left a little bit, keeping the shoulders back. Take another big breath. And then reverse what you did. So come on out of that, right? And release it. And sometimes it's all graceful and sometimes it's a train wreck. As long as you didn't fall on your face, consider it a win, whatever happens. So you get the second side. See what happens. All the way left, bend the right knee, and the right hand finds that foot. Standing nice and tall. Keeping the right knee toward the floor, keeping the shoulders down and back. Maybe adding on. Hinging forward. Opening the knee. And then reversing what you did to come back out of that. Maybe. All right, so back to the top of the mat if you did step off your mat. Let's go ahead and reach the arms up. Take a big breath. And then exhale yourself into a fold. All the way down. Take your time. We'll step it back into a down dog. And then drop on down into a child's pose. And just take a moment. Kind of regroup. No more balancing. And for right here, maybe see about taking your hands back by your heels and just letting your shoulders roll forward. Relaxing. Moving back to down dog. Let's go forward into plank and then drop the knees. So this is kind of the prep version of where we want to go next. And we're going to get the basics here and then we'll make it fancier if you want. So take that left foot, leave the knee on the floor, take the left foot over to the left, and then open up into a side plank, right? So this kneeling variation of side plank. From here, take that right foot and step behind your body. So somewhere near the left foot, somewhere. Think tucking your tailbone so the pelvis lifts a little bit, taking the right arm toward the ceiling if it's not already, and then dropping that right shoulder down. So here, imagine turning your chest toward the ceiling. Keep the tailbone tucked so your lower back stays long. You can take this right arm and stretch it over your ear for a little bit more intensity if you need that. And then we're going to release it, come back to kneeling plank. Do the same thing on the second side. So the shoulders are back, taking the right foot over to the right, opening up into this variation of side plank. And then maybe the left foot behind the body. Tuck the tailbone so the pelvis lifts. Stretch the left arm up and then drop that shoulder back down. Take the arm over the ear if that's where you want it to be. Big breaths. And then come on back, kneeling plank. And child's pose. And that was essentially a knee down variation of where we're going to go next. So some of you guys have been with me and you know exactly where that's headed. But for those who don't, remember you can always drop that knee if it's too much. So let's come on back to down dog again. Go ahead and lift that right leg. Open at the hip, bend at the knee. So think bringing this right foot to the floor closer to the body than far away, right? So you don't want to step way over to the left. Keep it a little closer to the body. And then the same thing as that knee down variation. Tuck your tailbone and lift your pelvis. Stretch the right arm toward the ceiling, then drawing the right shoulder down and back, and bring the right arm alongside the ear. Maybe. Any place in between. Let's bring that back to down dog. And we're going to go to the second side. So remember, if that's too much, you drop the knee and do the same thing. Let's go. Lift the left leg. Open the hip, bend the knee. Bring those toes to the floor behind the body. And then lift the pelvis, tuck the tailbone, lift the arm, drop the shoulder, and bring this left arm alongside the ear. Ish. And then back to down dog. From down dog, go ahead and drop your knees and give yourself a little child's pose. So remember, most poses can be unwound to find a place where your body can do this. So I like to wind it up. And if I just say a pose and you just pop yourself into it, you're missing all those places in between. So take those little baby steps. And if you go too far, you know exactly where to step back to, rather than getting somewhere and going, oops. And then not being able to enjoy the benefits of what you're trying to do. So let's go ahead and slide forward on under the belly. And we're going to work with locust just a little bit here. So the arms are going to start down by your sides or interlaced behind your back. So either one, as long as the arms are in this direction, works. Keep the toenails on the floor. Keep your tailbone tucked toward the floor. And then roll those shoulders like we do in Cobra, right? Up by the ears together on the back, down toward the hip bones, and you get a lift. Think pulling the shoulder blades closer together, stretching the fingertips or knuckles toward your heels. Let yourself breathe. And then release. So keeping that variation, we're adding on to make it a little bit more challenging here. The arms can stay making a little pillow for your head with your hands, right? So the elbows are out to the sides, forehead or chin on your pillow, right? I'm going to recommend your forehead, but if it's more comfortable for your chin, then be there. Keep your body, your hands connected to your head, right? Exact same thing happens. Toenails on the floor, tucking the tailbone, rolling the shoulders up, together, down toward your hip bones, and your arms and your head lift. So again, you're connected, yes? Don't cheat. And release. So you have those two variations. And if you want more, you extend the arms forward. So the palms can face each other or face the floor, whatever works better for your body. We want to keep the arms alongside the ears this time. So again, just lifting your head doesn't count. The arms have to come along. And if it's too much, just take a step back a step, right? So the toenails on the floor, the tailbone tucking toward the floor, the shoulders curling up, together on the back, and down toward the hip bones. And again, you find where your body's like, oh, all right, good. All right, I'm working, but not too much. And then gently release what you got. Make a little pillow again for your head, turning your toes toward each other, and just softly rock side to side on your pelvis. Stretch out your back. Not stretch it out, but shake it out. From there, roll around and come onto your back. So wiggle back to the center of your mat here. Your legs can be extended or the feet flat to the floor, whatever makes you happy there. And then just rest your shoulders back and let your spine release into the mat. We've got one more of those nice open chest poses, and then we'll just bring it down and chill out. So, lots of options here as well. We want to bring the feet flat to the floor if they're not already, and bring them in line with the hips. So outside of the hips is too wide, touching is too narrow. Pretty close to your glutes, not touching there either, that's a little too close. And then you've got some options. You can absolutely block or whatever little handy tools that you have there to make this more of a resting pose. But we got to get there first, right? So press down into the four corners of the feet. Press down into your triceps. The arms can be back here if you like. And then pull your heels towards your hips to lift your hips up off the floor. The tailbone tucks, shoulders stay back, nice and open, right? It can be this simple. You can hang out here. You can use your block sideways, so it's wide across your lower back, and just set your pelvis down there, right? Make sure it's across the hip points, though, not the hip points, the back of the pelvis. It's supporting, right? So it's not too high up on your lower back. It's not too low, so you're rolling with your butt toward the floor, right? Resting that pelvic bone. And you can always make it higher, right? You can interlace your fingers behind your back. Tuck your elbows up underneath and prop your pelvis with your arms. Tons of places to be here. Keep the back of the neck off the floor. Take a couple more nice big breaths in whatever variation you're in. And then let's release what you got. Wherever you're coming from, just gently set your pelvis back down on the floor. Hold with your feet flat. I know the temptation is to bring your knees into your chest, but you want to go slow. Right? So take a moment here and then gently draw those knees in. Rock a little bit just because that feels nice. And then we're going to take the feet flat to the floor again. Extending the right leg straight up toward the ceiling. So we want to try and stay as level on the pelvis as we can, keeping our shoulders back here. Maybe the fingers interlace behind the back of the thigh. You can always use a strap here, either along the back of the thigh or across the top of the foot. Right? And then just a little gentle in, closer to the body, and out. So exhaling as we draw that leg closer, and then inhale and let it go just a little bit. It does not have to be a great big movement. In fact, if it is, you're starting to use momentum probably. Okay, so just nice and gentle. And then find kind of a middle, right? Keeping that leg straight as much as you can. Extend the left arm out to the left and glue the left side of your body to the floor, especially that left hip. Support the outside of the leg with the right hand and let it begin to fall right. You're going to notice the weight start to shift away from that left hip. Stop. And if you can keep the left hip as heavy as the right, you can proceed, right? So don't worry about this right foot coming to the floor. It does not matter. Keep the pelvis even. Shoulders are rooted. We're going to take one more nice big breath here. And then bring the leg back up to the top. And now take that right foot all the way over toward your left hand. It doesn't actually have to touch the hand. The knee can bend if that's better. Extending the left. No, this is your right arm. Your right arm out to the right. And just like with our final twist, normally, right, you can make this more or less work, right? You can just kind of relax into it and let your knee bend and your shoulders release, right? Or you can make more work, stretching through the right hand and pressing through the right heel or big toe. And just see where your body wants to be today. Sometimes it just needs to chill and gravity is good. Sometimes you want a little more work. Let's go ahead and take another nice big breath. And then gently make your way back to center. So bending the knee if you need to. Come back to the middle. Release the right foot. If you're a little crooked, straighten out. And then we're going to switch sides. So the left leg straight up toward the ceiling. Keeping the shoulders back, the pelvis even. And then the left leg a little in and out. And we stretch those hamstrings pretty good. So hopefully this is a nice big stretch for you. Just a couple more breaths like that. And again here, finding that center, extend the right arm, glue that side of your body to the floor, support the outside of the leg with the left hand, and let it fall to the left. Again, take your time here. Find where you start to feel the weight shift. One more big breath. And then bring it back to center. Take it all the way across. Left foot somewhere near that right hand. Extending the left arm, and again here, engaging or releasing whatever is right for you over here. Take just a couple more big breaths over here. And then gently bring it back to center. Releasing the left foot. And again, if you get a little crooked, make yourself aligned. Draw those knees into the chest. Give yourself a rock. And then hug in. Draw them in nice and tight. Put your forehead toward your knees. And release it into a full body stretch. Releasing the stretch. Making your way towards Shavasana. Whatever that's going to look like. finding alignment and comfort, support. Releasing your muscles, releasing the breath. Allowing the mind to stay present and quiet. Just allowing yourself to rest for a few minutes. Slowly draw in a deep cleansing breath and then let that go. Starting small, begin to wiggle, stretch, and move. And when you're ready, gently bring the feet flat to the floor. And slowly make your way back up to a seated position. Sitting well, bringing the palms to touch. Bowing your head to that very open heart. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm happy you were able to connect to your gratitude and hopefully spread it, right? Keep that idea in your brain as the stress of the holidays occur, because it does. Right? Quick little survey for y'all. If you could please let me know. I've been in the past, not last year, but in the past, doing maybe a 30-minute Thursday morning stretch, because sometimes you just need that. And if you all are interested, I will do that again this year, because I will probably not have class on Saturday morning. So just give me a holler one way or the other what you think, whether you're up for it or you need that kind of thing. Right? Let me know. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you.